welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we're going to be diving into your energy, blessings, and Leo season for the month of August. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back everyone here and my kindred spirits to this space, and anyone new who may be joining us here for your monthly blessings as we are heading into the warmth and beauty that the sun brings for Leo season. Hopefully you guys are staying cool where you're at if it's been through that giant heat wave that's been kind of running through for a lot of different people, but otherwise just the beauty and the warmth of this season. We're going to look here at the piles here in a second, but if you'd like to, definitely feel free to subscribe or check out the different ways you can support and uplift this space, as it really does make a difference. I have the Kindred tip jar down below. It goes directly back into the channel, and also you can check out the different snail mail readings that I do. Those are typed and written and sent to you in the mail, and it's a really fun, treasured experience, not only for me to send to you, but also for you to enjoy and open up that beautiful package just for you. But I'd also like to do other types of readings and offerings as well. So if you guys have any ideas of other things that I can be doing on this channel within this space, your feedback is hugely and very largely appreciated. It really does make a difference in the things that I start to do on this channel. So let me know what videos you'd like to see in the future. Let me know the different offerings you'd like to see. I've even thought about doing postcard readings, or even doing readings more digitally on my Instagram. And that's also a great way to stay up to date on the offerings that I do, as I'm very active there as well, and I'd love to see more of your guys' faces and get to know more of you. So all of that with my Instagram, Kindred tip jar, the snail mail readings, and everything else will be down below. I'd love to hear your feedback. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into the different piles here. So seeing as we are heading into Leo season, and you might be even watching this at the beginning of Leo season now that we are in it, I decided to do things that are very sunny based or very warm and has a lot of heat to them. So here for the very first pile, we have this dried sunflower. It is crunchy and it smells absolutely amazing. This is the back side of it, in case that resonates for you, but that is pile number 1. For pile number 2 here, I decided to do 2 different crystals. So this is a raw piece of citrine with a very nice white core. So that is the layers within the citrine. And then we also have this piece of a tumbled piece of Jasper in this really cool sort of triangular diamond shape. So that is pile number 2. And then here for pile number 3, we have this dried orange slice. It also smells really good, smells like oranges. It has gotten very burnt from the sun and the hot oven that it was made in. So it definitely has that heat as well. So that is pile number 3. So those are all of the 3 piles, and as always, I like to just take a moment here to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath, as well as a grounding one, to really seek out which pile is calling to you most, or even the piles themselves. So let's go ahead and take that deep cleansing breath here together. So you are welcome to choose any or all of the piles that call out to you. You can choose 1, 2, all 3 piles and flip-flop between them. There really is no right or wrong way or any set rule here. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description, as well as within the chapter marks of this video. And you can also check out my Instagram community, as I mentioned earlier, to look into all of the different ways you can support this space, and also just to get to know me a little bit more. There's a lot more of my self and who I am over there, and I love to seek out and see more of you there. So if that interests you, all of that will be down below in the description, and I will go ahead and start here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this very beautiful dried sunflower, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set it down right here for you. It smells absolutely amazing in here because of that sunflower, but we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations, as well as several different oracle decks, and the tarot deck of choice today is the Everyday Witch Tarot. But if you want to learn more about all of the different supplies and their names and everything, I'll have all of that listed down below in the description. today we're going to be looking into your blessings as well as a specific Leo season message. I feel Leo season is so warm, and I really want to look into that warmth, that sunny energy within yourself and your authenticity that will be coming out within this next month. So we'll definitely be looking into that as well. But let's go ahead and begin with your August blessings, and more so the predictions within the main energies of the month first. So feel free to get cozy, warm if you'd like, with a nice blanket or a warm beverage. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. So feel free to send your energy in here, group 1, with the sunflower. What do you have coming through energetically for your main energetic points coming through for the next month, for this month of August? Okay, so we've got 2 different kings. We have the King of Cups as well as the King of Wands. Interesting. Like, at first I thought maybe they were kind of at war with each other, or a sort of a battle-y kind of feeling of like air versus water, not air versus water, fire versus water, and like the battle there. But it almost feels like there's an alliance that wants to be built there within you. So I kind of want to see what that's about and see what that main energy is for your month here for August. Oh, that one wasn't it. For August, group 1, what do you have coming through? As always, sending in your energy through time and space really does make a difference. So group 1, what do you have coming through? Okay, so we also have the moon. Very interesting. So I almost am seeing this feeling of transitions is what I would say. I'm feeling this feeling of transitions, like you're entering one train and then getting off at a stop and getting onto the next train, or getting on one plane and transitioning to another plane. Like you're kind of in transit in some way throughout the entire month. Maybe that's because you're actually physically traveling. I know none of these cards specifically say travel, but that's what I'm getting right off the bat, so I'm going to trust that. We are maybe getting a bit of travel with the world showing up here, or the map that's here on the King of Wands, almost like feeling like you have more opportunity to expand in your leadership or expand in the communities and people that you hang out with. But I find what's interesting is, like I said, this month with Leo season, and then also with just August in general, if you're in the northern hemisphere, all of the temperatures, the heat, the warmth that we have going on, and then you get the moon. And the moon is like obviously the opposite of the sun in some ways, although there is a duality there between the two of them. But where the sun is all about light and seeing everything clearly, vividly, without shame, without being able to kind of hide from your true self, the moon has more opportunity for us to hide, has more opportunity for us to sort of take a step back, to see only bits and pieces of each other, right? Not the full picture. There's this feeling of illusion, right? Where you can see here, there's this little cat, but they're seeing themselves bigger than they are, or making things seem bigger or smaller because there's illusions afoot. So while you're moving through these transitions from the King of Wands to this King of Cups energy, or rather I'm feeling might be vice versa, or back and forth as you go throughout the month. I almost feel like you're just going to be kind of floating between both of these energies. There is this feeling of kind of working with them together. And so I guess I should speak on what these energies are. So we have the King of Wands, a very protective leader, a very fiery go-getter kind of person. They really want to do the best for the people that they are surrounded in. So your communities, like within your family unit, within your friendship groups, within those social circles, and also within your own passions and goals and the things that you want and have on like a dream board or something like that. That is what I'm seeing here, right? That's that kind of energy. Whereas over here, the King of Cups is a lot more, again, you have this telescope, or I don't think it's actually called a telescope. It's like I'll put it on the screen, but they're looking through that, like looking glass. There you go. And also looking forward. So where this is more visually trying to plan, trying to be sort of like writing things down and really working through the problem, the King of Cups takes it more as it comes, right? They just kind of let the waves come. They're very much in that watery suit, that watery energy. So they're both working together to be the best leader that they can, or be the best within their community, working together. There's a lot of teamwork within these cards, but they're coming at it from different angles, and I think you're wanting to work on them both together. And I think it's also that you're going to be sort of illuminating or ruminating to look at the way that you see your community and the way that your community sees you, or the way that the teamwork energy is present in your life, and seeing it for what it really is. Because right now, at the beginning of the month, I feel like it's starting out very much with these illusions, not understanding, don't have the full picture. If you walk out in the moonlight, it makes everything seem a little bit eerier or difficult. There's more fear there. And I think that the King and the King of Cups, the King of Wands and the King of Cups rather, are just trying to give you sort of support. I think they're versions of yourself that you have sort of lost sight of, that are coming back in, right? Pieces of yourself kind of coming back together. And one of those pieces has more of that visual leadership, and the other one is more of the intuitive leadership. And both of them are wanting to come together to work with you, almost as a team as well. So those are the things that I'm getting just right off the bat. Very much a just sort of bounce around in the energy. So we'll see if there's very specific things that come in as we move forward. So the next card that I'm going to pull you is actually going to be the card of your blessings. And for some people, as I mentioned previously in these monthly blessings videos, is that a blessing can be whatever it is for you. It doesn't have to be something so religious sounding, but it can be just a opportunity or a type of energy that's really going to be on your side this month, something that's coming forward either within yourself or outwardly, that is just going to be a piece or an opportunity that you can really take hold of if you wish to. So what is that blessing? What is that opportunity for you coming forward? What energy is really on your side this month? For group one here, what energy is really on your side? Okay, so we have the mushroom. Interesting. As the mushroom, as you can see, it has the moons, the cycles that are showing up here. It's giving me more of that transitions kind of feeling, right? I feel like you are in transit. You are moving from one cycle, moving from one phase to the next. And it's going to be multiple phases. And seeing as you have this idea of planning, of looking ahead, of thinking ahead that's coming through and maybe not having the full picture, I'm thinking that an opportunity that's coming forward for you is to be able to step into that and see things from smaller chunks. I think right now you might be looking at the whole sky of it, looking at the whole map, looking too far ahead, basically. And the mushroom is showcasing to you that you can take things one spoonful at a time, one phase at a time. You don't have to look so far ahead, and each decision that you make is going to get you from the one to the next. And obviously that makes sense, right? If you're going down your to-do list and you do it in order, you do one to the next, and then all together you get to see the progress as it moves forward. But seeing as you have the moon, it keeps giving me this feeling that you feel like maybe you don't know what that next task is going to be until you do it. So I feel like if you're feeling really lost, even where you're even going, it just feels so like fluid, no idea, feels kind of just all over, chaotic. Just take one step. See what that does, then feel it out, and then move on to the next step. Feel it out, move on to the next step. It doesn't have to be quick. You don't have to have all of the answers to even begin. And you might make mistakes along the way, but that's okay. The mushroom is just giving you that feeling and that opportunity to experiment, to try one spoonful at a time and see where it takes you. You can always move backwards and try again. So that's what I'm getting there from the mushroom, a much more gentle message, a very warm one as well. So the next message that we're going to look into is your relationship message. We love to do these ones for the monthly blessings. And this is going to be with the Language of Flowers deck. I was feeling really called to the flower or floral energy for something that might be blooming within a relationship as well. So we're going to see what that comes through with any kind of relationship. This can be with yourself, with spirit. It can be with your family members, with loved ones, with a more romantic relationship, however you may see it. So feel free to send that energy or that intention through. So group one, what is your relationship message coming through for the month? Okay, so we have wisteria, longevity, plan for, and take the dedicated path. Okay, so within your relationships, this is about taking one step at a time, even within them as well. And what I didn't mention with the moon, it can also give you the feeling of having your emotions feel really full and like they're just like a lot to process. So you might be feeling more emotional, as in like every emotion, every type of emotion, not just sadness or, the ones that we might think of when we think of sensitive or emotional. It can just be ones that are any kind of emotion that you might feel: frustration, anger, feeling confusion, or feeling happiness or joy. Whatever those are, they just feel much stronger and a lot more, I don't want to say intense, but just more potent than they would in previous months, and especially within your relationships, and they feel much more heightened. So that's something to just keep in mind as sort of a signpost throughout the month, that if you're feeling like your emotions towards people within your community, within those places in which you lead, within your workplace, however it may seem or feel for you, those emotions might last a little bit longer, but they won't necessarily last forever. So in some ways, don't take them too intensely. In other ways, making sure to know that you can't take them for granted. So that's what I'm getting from wisteria here. But let's move on to your next one. This is going to be the exciting Leo message, and then we'll pull an advice card. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, definitely be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel. I truly do appreciate it. So thank you to everyone who has liked the video so far and has found this to be useful. But we're going to move on to your Leo message. So this is the message I wanted to look into specifically. And I woke up this morning before I even did this reading, and getting it all set up and everything. And I felt like you guys just needed to know a message specifically for not only Leo season, but what it is about yourself that is warm and is something that, like, when you're cold, you go to a fire, right, to warm up. What is something within you? What is a quality within you that other people feel very drawn towards this month, and something for you to maybe even draw in on more so within your own personality? So let's see what that personality trait is, or that quality about you that just warms others' hearts or warms yourself, or something that you're warming up to about yourself as well. So let's see what that is for you. Group 1, this warming quality. Okay, so we have the Ace of Paper, and it is the pulp. It says malleable, aptitude, versatility. So this is about having, like, if you're making paper, you have to start first by taking a whole bunch of old paper or pulp that you're going to make the paper out of, and grinding it all down to create just something to make the paper out of. It's basically the ingredients of sorts. So for other people, they might see you as something that has the potential for growth, and has the potential for growth within their lives. The potential for you to see the growth in other people and noticing where they are harnessing the ingredients they need to be their better versions of themselves, or you'd be maybe a good person to give really good advice, or someone who people just feel really warmed by in terms of like seeing the potential in them. And I think it's also a reminder as well to see the potential in yourself, the potential for your growth as well. So that's what I'm seeing here for your Leo message, is to remind yourself that you are not only something that can grow on your own, and that you have the potential for growth, but other people see you as a really great space, a really great person, a leader in that way, to come to and feel very warmed by the idea of you seeing the potential in them to grow, and reminding them of that, and validating that they can do that as well. So let's go ahead and move on to your last card here, and then we'll do an affirmation, and we'll pull your charms to finish off your reading. But this is going to be a card from Spirit, or from however you may see it, the universe, spirit, your higher self, spirit guides, however you'd like to, the cards themselves, just to look into a guiding advice message for the month. So anything we may have missed that might be coming forward. So let's see an advice or guidance message from Spirit. Okay, so you got the 4 of ink, the pen. The 4 being something that feels sort of like this map. It feels very planning based is what I'm getting immediately. It says manifestation, communication, and clarity. Clarity being the biggest one that's showing up for me, especially since things maybe don't feel as clear at the beginning of the month. And that clarity is going to come in the more that you take a step forward, see the potential in your tasks and the way that you're moving forward on something. And also maybe recording your growth, I think, is what I'm also getting to, like recording your growth in a journal. And I know this seems really easy, and I know a lot of us are like, yeah, journaling, of course it's good, but it's something that I feel like a lot of us tend to skip, including myself. And just writing down in a planner or in something like every day, something that you're moving forward on, and reminding yourself of your growth, even in small increments, and then you can see that bigger growth as you move forward. So that's what I'm seeing here, just physically writing things down, recording your growth, recording your memories, recording the gratitude you have, the warmth you see in others, and letting that guide you moving forward as well. So those are all of your cards. Let's go ahead and pull your affirmation. If you want to make these affirmations yourself, I have a video as well, and I forget to mention it, but I have a video all about how you can make these if this is something you'd be interested in making for yourself. But then we'll move on to your charms. So let's see your affirmation for the month of August. Group 1. Group 1, what do you have coming in? Okay, so we have it falling near that cat in the illusions, and it says refresh your space. So I'm seeing this as like a reset or a restart. Again, we had that transition feeling at the beginning, so it can also just be reminding yourself that each task that you take is an opportunity for a new space, a new opportunity for you to begin again, to see things from a new point of view, that you have a lot of potential for that as well. And just in general, refreshing your space in terms of like your physical space as well, like maybe refreshing your wardrobe, fluffing up the pillows on your couch or on your bed, putting up some new things on your walls to inspire you. Things like that could be really useful as well in refreshing your space. But let's go ahead and move on to your charms, and we'll finish off your reading with the last little bits and bobs details for the month. As always, feel free to send your energy into them. They can be really fun. They've been very silly with me lately, so I'm going to see what comes through for you. So group 1. Okay. Ooh. All right, we've got more on that whole journaling aspect for sure, because here we have basically the be prepared charm, because this is an icicle, and if you have ever lived in a place where it snows or you get a lot of ice with icicles on the side of your house, you know that it's very important to always look up and make sure that you are seeing everything from every potential point of view to make sure that you aren't right underneath an icicle that could be very dangerous for you. So this was falling near the mushrooms, which is reminding me of that spoon again, taking things one spoonful at a time. And I think by also taking things one task at a time, you're going to be more efficient in catching those things that maybe you weren't prepared for. If you try to look at the whole thing too big. Also, it can remind me too, if you are a spoonie, that might be something to be more prepared about and be more aware of moving forward. Other things that we had showing up here is right on refresh your space. So I feel like it's specifically about this one. We got the 2 little rackets here, which makes me think, again, transitions, racketing back and forth. You're going through some sort of transition right now. And then we also got the feeling of self-care. So it might be just refreshing your space as well in a hobby that you might be doing for self-care. It doesn't have to be necessarily something using a racket, but just something that you're transitioning into or maybe coming back to that you haven't explored before or haven't gotten to explore in a while within your hobbies that are more self-care based. And then lastly here we have, which I think is interesting because the King of Cups is usually the one that would have Scorpio on it. Over here in the very fiery realm of the King of Wands, you actually have Scorpio. So you might have someone in your life as well who is a Scorpio, who's going to give you a point of view that is both watery, as I was talking before, that's seeing things from a more go with the flow perspective, and then someone who can also give you a lot of good advice moving forward as well from this passionate point of view. So that's what I'm getting here from the Scorpio. There might just be a Scorpio coming in that's going to be really helpful, or possibly a leader that you look up to moving forward within this month as well to look into, and maybe seek some guidance and affirmation from this month. So those are all of your charms and cards. I do truly hope you enjoyed this reading here with me. I will zoom you back out so you can see here. Definitely be sure, as I mentioned before, to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear your thoughts. I love to see how your guys' mind works and your intuition. It's really interesting to me, and I learned so much from you all. But if you'd also like to see the other videos that I have on this channel, I have lots of different ones coming from that watercolor affirmations DIY video. I also have timeless readings, these monthly readings, lots of other ones as well that you can see for love, career, spirituality, and so much more. So definitely be sure to check those out and subscribe or hit the notification bell if you'd like to join this kindred space. Truly, I would love to have you here and read for you each week and throughout the month. Also, if you'd like to support this channel and keep it running and going, definitely be sure to check out the Kindred tip jar down below. It really does make a difference and helps and goes straight back to the channel. And you can also check out the different snail mail readings that I do, as those are great ways to get private readings. And I'd like to open up even more recently on digital readings. So if you guys have any ideas on what you'd like to see for my offerings, I truly would love to hear your input down below. My words here. Because I really do think that makes a big difference in knowing what you guys would like to see. So thank you so much for being here and seeing more about your month ahead. And I am wishing you the best for your August. See you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 2, if you've decided to choose this piece of raw citrine as well as this tumbled piece of Jasper, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set it down so you can see it during your reading today, as we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations, as well as several different oracle decks, which I'll have all of this listed in the description down below. And the tarot deck of choice is the Everyday Witch Tarot, which I was really feeling with these warm oranges, because this is going to be the month of August and your blessings, the energy that's coming through. And we're also going to be looking into a Leo message, which is very much connected to that sun energy, that very bright, very warm energy. So we're going to look into a little bit there as well. So if you're settled, you're ready to go, got yourself something warm to keep you warm, or if you're in a place that is going through a heat wave right now, maybe something to keep you cool, then we're going to go ahead and get started here. So as always, feel free to send your energy in through time and space. That truly does make a difference. You'd be surprised, and we're going to get started. So Group 2, let's look into 3 cards for the energy that's coming through most prominently and potently for the month ahead for you of August. Okay, so first off, we've got that Page of Swords as well as the Fool. I'll lift those up for you here in a minute. And then we'll look into your last one here. I think it's interesting that I said that cooling message, and then we're getting things so specifically in sort of this airy feeling. So kind of cooling you down energetically as well. And then we also have the Knight of Wands, so heating it back up. So we have a lot coming in with the air and the fire energy, thinking of like a campfire, right? Sometimes you have to like get the kindling going by using your breath or using air, and that's kind of the immediate visual I was getting here of like getting your kindling moving, getting something started and starting to build upon. Especially since we have this new kind of energy coming through. We have a lot of new, young energy that's coming through from here. And not necessarily in an age way, but just in an experience way. Because here we have the Page of Swords, a messenger, a younger spirit, still learning and growing on their path, sometimes slightly naive or a little bit hesitant. Then we have the 0 being the very beginning of the journey of the entire tarot deck, showcasing the Fool. And then here at the end, we have the Knight of Wands. So I see a lot of energy coming through here of that newness, of kind of opening your arms as well, right? We have their arms opening, they have their arms opening. We even have this, both these winged creatures sort of starting from something very small to something much bigger, kind of growing, throwing themselves here. As you can see, like I said, there's that open feeling even with their wings. So I'm getting this feeling of kind kind of like truly opening yourself up to something that you've been wanting to sort of fly within, to get that kindling moving on, to start building upon something that's been on your mind possibly for a while. I don't feel like it's something that's going to immediately hit you this month. It might have been something you've been thinking about in the previous months, or even something you've been wanting to build upon within this year. But I feel like you're finally getting your nerve this month to even, maybe you won't actually start, but I feel like you're going to get your nerve to even begin, or even have the idea that you could begin on whatever this new beginning is for you, or this new idea is, to set sail on it. Because we also have with the Fool, whenever I see this, especially in this deck, it's always the affirmation of to believe in yourself, to believe you have the potential, the skills, the ideas, and most importantly, like the gumption to just like hop off of this cliff and know you will fly. Because just like in like Peter Pan or something like that, if you don't give yourself the affirmation that you can fly, if you don't believe in yourself, then one, no one else might believe in you either. And then also, even more importantly, that you probably won't get what you're wanting to get going. So it's not waiting to see the results, or waiting to see that whatever you do is going to be successful for you to feel successful. Sometimes it's just taking that first step. That's all you need to do. So I'm really getting that with the Fool energy, to just jump off the cliff and go. Don't think about it too much. Be a bit impulsive possibly this month and see what comes of it. It might not always be in the ways that you were expecting, but I do think that just making that step is going to be worth it in the end. So then we also have the Page of Swords here. Like I said, they're also a messenger. So you might be getting a lot of messages coming in from Spirit this month, or just feeling sort of like, I kind of am getting this feeling that you're getting like messages coming visually everywhere. You're hearing it in songs. You're seeing messages come through within symbolism, animal symbolism, through lyrics, through words that you're reading in your novels, whatever it may be, however you may be experiencing them. I just feel like they're going to be coming in one after the other, and you have like a lot of translating to do spiritually. I think the most important thing is to not get too like whirlwinded up into it, and just see the potency of the message. So, right, you might be getting like a ton of messages. For me, I just saw a frog outside my window before I started this, and I like to sometimes do a reading for myself just to test out these spreads at the very beginning before I do them for each of you. And as I was doing that, I got even some messages with frogs, and the other day I got ones with dragonflies, and the other day I got ones with like bunnies, and like for me it's a lot of animal ones. Might be different for you, but the point is, I just feel like you might be just getting a lot of them, and the most important thing is to just translate them somehow. So instead of looking at them like, wow, I've seen a billion frogs, like, what do frogs mean to you? See the potency in that message. See how all of these messages are connecting to almost build a sentence. And what is that sentence for you as you move through the month? Because that might be coming through for you. I'm also thinking there could be messages coming in physically as well. Like, you might just be getting a lot of opportunities or new ideas coming through from friends and family in text messages and emails. If you send snail mail or things like that, you could also be getting it through that. But that's what I'm getting here, is that feeling, that kind of messenger feeling from the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords also does showcase like that new naive feeling too. They're very young. They don't know everything. They're very similar to this Fool energy of just stepping into something. But as you can see, they finally step forward and they make that first move and just like kind of thrust it into the universe. And so I really like that idea. And then here for the Knight of Wands, this is what I'm feeling is like the end of your month. Like I said, you had to go through that first step, that believing in yourself, and you might not get to this by the end of the month. It might just be really about these two cards, but this is where it's leading you towards, is this feeling of kind of feeling like braver, more courageous. Like, even as I'm sitting here, you can't see, but I'm like kind of puffing out my chest. You're kind of like feeling a little bit like more movement in your shoulders. There's just this feeling of like a weight lifted off you, and finally momentum to sort of just have something come forward, because you've done that. The hardest part for you was that start, and now that you've done the start, you really can't go back. So you're like, might as well just go for it. with your feet running. So that's what I'm getting here. I feel like you're finally getting some momentum this month. You're getting through this idea of believing in yourself, moving through that self-doubt, the fear that you might have in just allowing yourself to try, and also those messages. But let's go ahead and look a little bit further, and we're going to look into a blessing for the month. So this is going to be your highest and biggest blessing coming through, and for some of you, another way of visualizing this isn't necessarily a blessing, but an opportunity that's going to present itself most within in an energetic way, or also a energy that's just really on your side this month, one to really take advantage of. So let's see what that is for you for the month of August. What are you taking advantage of energetically, and a blessing coming through most potently for you for the month of August? Group 2. Okay. So we have clematis. I always say it incorrectly, and my best friend was just here yesterday and was telling me all about this flower, and I'm still saying it wrong, I'm sure. But anyway, the number is 22, so there's this feeling of partnership when I see this card, or just the idea of kind of leveling up in some way. And clematis is all about this feeling of kind of needing to continue to climb up something. There's this feeling like they like to climb, right? They like to kind of climb up a wall or a siding or something like that, or just moving forward in some way, like that momentous feeling. I want to look in the guidebook here, so let's go ahead and see that real quick. All right, so I got it up in the book, and it's in the summer suit, and I'll hold it up like this so if you can read that if you want by pausing, but I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. It says, this flower grows across any surface it is given, eager to rise and reach towards the blazing summer sun. Very much Leo energy as well. Its spiraling vines grab onto any opportunity that appears, putting its flowers in the best position to drink the rain and warmth. This card symbolizes movement and momentum, a push towards the best position that will help you achieve your goal. Just be sure to remember those who held you up on your race to the finish. So also showcasing that gratitude, and maybe that's about that message energy too, is to make sure to maybe message anyone who may have helped you along the way, to really take some time to sit down and give that gratitude in some way, for anyone who may have helped you believe in yourself or gave you that potential, that idea, that momentum. So that's what I'm seeing here with clematis. Really, it's just about kind of moving upwards, moving to that next thing. So the opportunity, the best position that you're going to be moving up forward in is coming through with that blessing and coming through with that energy. So the energy is momentum, and I love that, since we already quite a bit talked about the idea of momentum, right? So once momentum gets going, once that snowball gets moving down that hill, it's just going to grow and grow. So let's see your next card. So this one, we're going to take a minute away from the energy that we've been looking at here, although it may connect, and we're going to look at a relationship message. Speaking on more of these flower messages, we're using the language of flowers deck here to see what is blooming within your relationships this month. So what might be blooming within your relationships with yourself, with spirit, with your family members, friendships, within romantic relationships, however you wish to see it. Feel free to send that intention in. So what is your relationship message of growth and blooming for this month? Group 2. So we have Sweet Elysum, again, probably saying it wrong, and it says clarity. Bright paths of understanding will open. Very interesting. It feels kind of mysterious, even though it is clarity. It does have this mysterious quality to it, which is maybe why it's still mysterious, possibly even to you at this moment, thinking about what this might mean. I do see this feeling of like maybe branching out, getting more clarity in what you might be branching out within a new relationship, or relationship that you're currently in with someone. Bright paths of understanding will open. So I don't know exactly what that will be for you, but I do feel like no matter what, it is going to give you more of that clarity, as the summer sun would do so for many people, and just going to bring out a lot more authenticity and the realness that is each of the people that you may be looking into with this card. Like, they're just going to be more and more of themselves showing up. So let's go ahead and look at your Leo message now. So we're going to be pulling a couple more cards here with the watercolor affirmations. We're going to do an advice card and the charms. But this one, I wanted specifically to look into a Leo message. So Leo season is all about that warmth that the summer sun gives. It is specifically related to the sun and our beautiful sun that brings all that warmth, that growth. It makes everything grow. It nurtures it. And so thinking on that idea of that kindling of that fire, what in yourself, a quality within yourself, are you warming up to? Or vice versa, or even maybe at the same time, what is a quality in yourself that warms others, that brings them to your like campfire and makes them feel really warm and cozy when it comes to being around you? So we're going to look into that here now. Your Leo season message for what quality are you warming up to about yourself or warming others with this month of August? Group 2. So I had a feeling this one was going to pop out. So we have the antagonist, which a lot of people would be like, okay, that sounds like a great quality to be sort of the antagonist in a story, the villain in a story, that kind of thing. But it's kind of like, I feel like you're just like flipping the idea or the points of view for people. I feel like you're really good at flipping the points of view or seeing things from multiple angles, and people might need those shifts, or maybe you're seeing yourself from a new angle that you need to see. We have opposition, deceit, and malice, but I'm mostly getting opposition, this idea of flipping the coin on its head, seeing things from a new perspective, or even just realizing that we have more opportunities to look at the people around us with different lenses. I even am feeling like you're putting on different pairs of glasses for everyone, and you're giving everyone a new point of view of yourself to be seen. So there's a new point of view of yourself that maybe other people have looked at the past thinking that it isn't a great thing, or maybe you have looked at in the past a piece of yourself that you feel like you have to kind of hide this lens from, or not let them see the full version of you, because we have flaws. We have things that aren't so great about ourselves. We have lenses in which people look at that we can't decide that are of other lenses that maybe we don't want people to be looking at us in that way. But I think it's just that you are reminding others that we all have our flaws, that we all aren't going to be perfect, and that we can still believe in ourselves and we can still move forward with these flaws, and that is a human thing. And I think you remind people of their humanity, remind people of their humanness, remind people that you are not perfect, and so they in turn don't have to be perfect around you. Not saying that we can't work on ourselves or try to do better, but I think that that's the fire that you bring across to people. Flipping things to a new perspective, or just seeing everyone from a more humane point of view, a new point of view, a more open, authentic point of view. So really like that for your card. I know it doesn't maybe seem like the best, but I honestly really love this. I think it's a really great card, and I'd be personally really warmed by it. So let's go ahead and see your advice from Spirit. Then, as I said, we'll move on to your last two parts. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, definitely be sure to give this video a like if you haven't already. And definitely let me know in the comments down below at the end of this reading or throughout it how you feel this resonated. I learned so much from all of you, and I love hearing your intuitive thoughts. So definitely let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at your advice message from Spirit, from the cards, from the universe. Okay, so we have the train. It says transition, travel, and liminal space. So the advice that we have here is that you're going through a transition. I also felt this feeling, and I even specifically said like moving from one train card to the next in group 1. So if you're looking to, especially if you felt connected to this clarity message and this train message, definitely check out pile number 1 too. I think that there'd be a lot there for you. But yeah, the advice that we have here is the train, transition, travel, and liminal spaces. So this is allowing yourself also to still be, like I said, I don't think you're going to be fully at this point where you feel so like you have all the momentum in the world, but I do think you're getting that slight step forward, that little bit of kindling, that fire starting to build. It may not be a bonfire yet, but you definitely have something, a little campfire to keep you warm in the goals and things and skills that you're going to be starting to believe in yourself and kind of push into. So I see that as your advice message, is just to get on the train and see where it takes you. Honestly, like very simple, but not always easy. It's much easier to say, but definitely something that you're being advised to do and guided to do. There is no stop in this. There's lots of momentum, no reason to stop, no reason to yield. So let's go ahead and pull your watercolor affirmation, and then we'll move on to those charms. So what affirmation is coming through for you, group 2? So it fell here at the very bottom at this like little bag, and it says go your own way. So maybe whatever you are kind of learning and evolving into with this Page of Swords that you're wanting to kind of really step into is maybe something, again with the antagonist, something that is different from the norm, something that is showcasing a new point of view that others aren't maybe expecting of you, or you weren't even expecting in yourself that you could ever do such a thing or move to whatever it is or try something new. Maybe you thought that it was just never possible, but you're allowed to finally go your own way and learn that. It definitely feels like specific to a skill, but it can be in whatever way you are feeling, especially since it says go your own way. So take that how it resonates, and we're going to pull your last messages here from the charms. So here we go, group 2. I felt such a small amount of charms. It felt so specific. So we're really going to look into these and see where specifically they fell. Okay, so we had one showing up here with like clarity and awareness showing up on the page again. So more on that going your own way, that I think you again weren't even aware of how much potential you have and how much potential you hold until you get this momentum going. And it really has to come from that belief and that awareness in yourself, becoming more self-aware of the goals, the skills, and the things you want to head towards, because right now they might not feel super clear, but as the month progresses, it's going to for sure. And what I found also interesting is here on the Knight of Wands, there's this like little kitty cat holding on behind them, and then in this transition period, you have, and we even talked about with this main blessings card, you have the idea of really making sure to give that gratitude towards the people who have kind of clung on and helped along the way, even though they might have been nervous for you, right? This cat is like clinging on. They might have been nervous for this transition, might have been worried if you'd find the right nutrients, the sun, the energy that you would need to grow. But it's just reminding yourself to give that gratitude is what I'm getting from this because it's usually the idea of friendship, love, and loyalty in a relationship. So I feel like this is just that there have been a lot of people who've been very loyal, helpful, and encouraging along the way, and to give that support back, or to remind people that you really do see that they are supportive, and to give that gratitude and that message forward to them. So those are all of your cards and charms. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you out so you can see them all a little bit better here again. Thank you so much for joining me here for your August blessings. If you want to see more of the readings that I have on this channel, definitely be sure and consider subscribing to this Kindred space and hitting the notification bell if that's something you're interested in, because I have over 100 videos on all types of different readings that are both timeless and more specific on specific seasons and time frames that you can check out on this channel already, but you can also check out this channel even further by the different ways in which you can support it, as I put out lots of different private reading options. Specifically right now I'm doing snail mail readings, but I want to do more digital readings in the future, or email ones or things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know your thoughts. Send me a DM or an email. I'd love to do a private reading for you and any idea that you have. And also I do lots of other types of like earrings, magical paper, other fun magical and enchanting art magic kind of things. So lots of different offerings you can check out on this channel down below in the description, and on my Instagram community where I am very present. But yeah, you can do that, or check out the Kindred tip jar down below, as it's also a great way to really support this space more financially and to help me get more decks and supplies for each of you. I definitely have some in the future that I'm so super excited to receive in the mail that I hope to be doing in the future for all of these readings. So with all of that rambling done, thanks for liking, subscribing, checking it all out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 3. If you've decided to choose this orange slice, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it right down here so you can see it during your reading, as we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations, as well as several different oracle decks, and the tarot deck of choice being the Everyday Witch Tarot. But if you want to look more into the different decks and supplies that I'm using here today, I have all of them listed in the description down below for your convenience. But also, we are going to be looking into this specific tarot deck because I was really feeling the warm energy of the sides that I've edged this deck into, because this is going to be the very warm month, and maybe even very physically warm, seeing as we've had a lot of very warm weather going through for a lot of different countries and places. So definitely stay hydrated and stay cool where you're at if you can possibly throughout this month. But energetically speaking, we're looking into the warm Leo season energy, which is so bright, so warm, so powerful, and I think that it's going to be really fun to engage into this reading specifically for a card on Leo season, so you can look forward to that. But first, we're going to look into 3 cards to look into the main and most potent energies coming through for you for the month. So if you are settled and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and get started. Definitely feel free to send your energy in, as always, into the cards through time and space. Really, truly does make a difference. And we'll go ahead and get started. So here we go. Group 3, what are the 3 main energies coming through for you for the month of August? Group 3, what is coming through for you most energetically this month? Okay, so first off, we have the King of Pentacles. Interesting, we haven't had a lot of Pentacles show up in any of the previous piles, but here with the King of Pentacles, we have had a lot of kings, so there is a lot of that king energy, which definitely makes sense with the sun energy, but we also have the Wheel of Fortune showing up here with the number 10. In case that resonates, this would be 14 as well. And then let's see our last card here. I really am seeing a lot within these cards already. And then we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, so we have a very, most of the piles so far have had very different energies, and this one is no different. So here with your pile, I am getting this feeling of not necessarily that you're fearing change. I don't think that you're fearing change. I feel like you know there is a change on the horizon, because here with the Wheel of Fortune, it's all about something coming in, them spinning the wheel and something new coming into your life, or just experiencing a new sort of change, a shift, a new direction that you're going to be taking. And I think it's one that you're aware of. I think you know that there's something on the horizon for you, a transition of sorts. Even if you don't know the specifics, I do think that there is something there, possibly related to something within your dreams and the things that you want to be heading towards. But also I'm feeling like it could be something within like your physical life. So you might be moving, you might be starting a garden, or getting your hands in the earth in some way, within your skills or your hobbies. It could also be something that is related to your body, or something else within the physical plane, like your career or your job. But those are the things, the ideas that I'm getting here from the King of Pentacles, that is showcasing where this shift may be happening, in the realm of where that might be happening. And then the 7 of Cups is giving me this feeling that you might just be feeling a little bit frazzled by it all. Like, yes, you know that this change is coming. Yes, you know that there's something happening in that space. But how you want to take it on, how you want to utilize this energy might feel a little bit up in the clouds, up in the air, in dream fantasy world. You might be wanting to do some escapism from this change, which is totally normal, totally, I totally understand that feeling of wanting to just sort of take a step back from the change. But no matter what, it is happening, even if you kind of chill on the sidelines of it for a bit. The other thing with the 7 of Cups is you can tell there's it's almost like a merchant trying to showcase all their goods, and you're like, I don't know what to take. I don't know if I want this, or I want that. And it's kind of like a kid in a candy store. Like, what are you going to take? Where are you going to go? And I feel like you are at a period in your life throughout this next month where this change is going to be giving you a lot of opportunities. And it's going to be kind of like throwing them out at you kind of haphazardly. And I almost feel like it's like, you might be feeling like it's a joke from spirit. Like, why are you throwing so many things at me? I don't have the time. I don't have all the resources. I don't have the energy to make that many shifts. And I think they're just sort of throwing it at you to see what sticks, because maybe you need a lot of variety right now. And that's what I'm even getting with the King of Pentacles, right? They have the grapes, they have an abundance. There's this feeling of abundance, of having, a lot to take in and really move in with, and also giving yourself the space to take on a little bit more than maybe you have been in the past. But I honestly am getting that feeling, right, that Spirit's just giving you all these opportunities within your career, within your body, within nature, the physical way in which you move through the world more tangibly. And so I feel like the opportunities that are going to be thrown at you are going to be like, you're going to get an email from your boss, and then you're going to get like this from here, and then you're going to go on a nature walk, and then you're going to have this, and you have all these different opportunities. But the point that I'm trying to get across is that you don't have to take them all, right? They're just seeing what sticks. So you're just seeing what sticks. You can say yes to everything and see what sticks that way, right? And experiment. But you can also just utilize this as an opportunity to see what even kind of resonates with you, because right now you might be thinking that you really want one thing, but that's what's shifting, and that's what maybe is changing right now, because you're moving into maybe something that you hadn't realized before would stick. So that's what I'm getting mostly from the King of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and Wheel of Fortune. But let's go ahead and look at your blessing card for the month. So this is going to be right in the center. I love to do this card as it is your August blessings. But if you don't really resonate with the word blessings, you can also see this as the main energy that's coming through to help you and assist you this month. The one to really take seize of an opportunity that might be most useful to you. Might even give you a little bit more information on the Seven of Cups. But yeah, it's just the energy that's really on your side this month. So let's see what that is for you, group 3. An energy on your side this month, moving forward into August. All right, so August blessing for group 3. Group 3. Okay, very interesting, because we were talking about your body, and that kept showing up for me, and I kept being like, well, I don't want anyone to think of this as like a body in terms of having to do any like physical changes in that way, but more so just really being more in tune with your body, being more in tune with listening to what it needs to say to you, listening to your intuitive senses on a physical plane, because here we got Pimpernel, and it's the number 12, in case that resonates for you. It's also in the spring suit, so something that might have even began back in the spring, or where that shift might be stemming from. But this always showcases to listen to your own inner compass. And sometimes, right, we listen to our intuition, we listen to our third eye, we listen to those sorts of spiritual messages. But sometimes we aren't listening to the physical sensations that we're getting in our body in any given moment, the intuition, or also the sort of gut feelings that you get. And they don't always have to be to something that is like maybe a negative stimulus, but it could also just be really positive things. So, right, listening to when you get goosebumps on your skin, listening to how your body feels after a meal, how full or sustained you feel, the nutrition that you feel. It can also be just your feet in the sand on a beach, on a warm day, really listening to how your body reacts to the different things that you're doing. And maybe that can give you more intuition and give you more of a guiding post or a compass to lead you in the direction to what will stick, right? So if you put your feet in the sand and that doesn't feel good, so that's probably not the one to continue to move towards. But sometimes those are so subtle that it's that we don't really listen to them. So listen to those subtle senses in all of your sensory sort of realm, and see what's sticking, because it's going to be your guiding compass this month for sure. So the next card that we're going to look at is your relationship message. I love to do these. This is going to be with the language of flowers, and I want to look into what is blooming within your relationships in August. So this can be any relationship you want to send the intention in for collectively. It could be within your friendships, within romantic relationships. It can be within your family, yourself, spirit, however you wish to see it. But we're going to go ahead and look into that. So send your energy in for that. And we're going to look into what is blooming in the month of August for the relationships in your life. What is blooming in the relationships in your life? Group 3. So we got Forget-Me-Not, such a beautiful flower. It says, forget-me-not, remembrance. Memories and the past hold the key. So where you have the compass showing up here, you also have a key showing up within your relationships. And I feel like the key is to remember to have memories. You might be remembering a loved one a lot this month. It might be coming up a lot more for you for a specific reason. A specific day maybe is showing up for you. Maybe that's why it felt so specific to those numbers. But I'm also getting like just reminding yourself that you're making memories with these people, even in those very subtle mundane moments. It doesn't have to mean you have to go out or do something big, just in those mundane moments, and really taking them, not letting them like fall to the wayside or taking them for granted. So that's really what I'm getting, is just mostly a message of guidance to sort of bloom the memories that you have this month and letting them become more beautiful, not just with age and time, but just even in the present moment. So that's what I have here for Get Me Not for you all. But let's go ahead and move on to your Leo message now, and then we'll do an advice card as well as your watercolor affirmations and quickly end your messages here with the charms. But first we're going to look into this card. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, if you've been enjoying the Leo season and the energy that's coming through for you and how it's resonating, definitely be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much, and I truly do appreciate it. You can also let me know in the comments down below. I learn so much from you all, from you telling me what you see intuitively within these cards, and so you can also drop me a comment down below on how it's resonating. But let's go ahead and look at your Leo message. And the way that I've been explaining it for the other piles, this is a card to showcase Leo season as a whole for you, and like advice, but I mostly am getting that I want to showcase for you a quality that you already have within you, that you are either warming up to this month, right? Because this is that sunny Leo energy. So an idea or a part or quality of you that you're warming up to, and or you're realizing that it warms the people in your life, right? You're like the campfire in their life. And what is it that attracts them to your fire? So let's see what that is. What is that fire within you that you are warming up to, or others are coming around and gathering around because of the warmth that you bring off? What is that quality within you? Okay, so we have the Teacher. Interesting. So it says structure, guidance, and legacy. I'm mostly getting the feeling of like just the idea of a teacher, of someone showing the ropes, showing your experience in something. And seeing as you have the King, it does showcase that you have a more mature idea on things that are happening within this space. And that's why you maybe are still trying to figure out what sticks, because you're going through sort of a change. But you do have past experience to show to other people. You have experience in which you can explain to other people, especially in knowledge about things that they don't understand, and things that only you could only give experience on because you have experienced it and maybe they haven't. So I feel like there's something within you, a quality within you that other people haven't had to maybe widely experience, that you are going to be teaching them on, showcasing or advocating for, or even just being more authentic within, and they're going to be able to really see that from a new point of view because you've opened that worldview to them. And if it isn't a quality that other people are necessarily noticing within you, it could be a quality, like I said, that you're warming up to. So maybe you've always wanted to teach, you've always wanted to showcase more of that teachery energy, a mentor or something like that, and you hadn't realized that you always kind of were that person that people came to for advice for, or to learn something, to learn a skill on. But that you definitely are that kind of person, and maybe you're going to be warming up to the idea of that as well this month. So that's your Leo season message on that warming quality. But let's look at the next one. This one's going to be an advice card from Spirit, and then we'll do your affirmation and charms. But this is advice from Spirit, from your spirit guides, from your own, from just the deck itself, from whatever way you view spirit in your life, and we're going to see what comes through. So what is the guidance message or advice message for the month, for group 3 here for the month of August? Group 3, what is this advice card message? Ooh, that one just like flew right at me. Kind of hit me in the shoulder near the neck. So it might have something to do with the way that you communicate or hold yourself. But here, let me get it up. Okay, so we have the 7 of paper. And it is the cover. It says protection, beauty, and wholeness. All right, so right, like I'm thinking less of like a cover and more of like a dust jacket just popped in my head, right? That you can remove or put back on, and it's almost like removing and putting on and trying to figure out again what sticks, but in a boundary kind of point of view, maybe boundaries socially with people or the way that you communicate with people. I feel like there's maybe a social boundary that you're kind of needing to work on there with someone. And they're also, and maybe it's something that you're having like a memory with and you want to make sure that it might not always be the best memories with these people. So it's maybe also wanting to put up some boundaries there, or dust them off in some way. The Seven of Paper with cover also, like it says beauty and wholeness too, right? A dust jacket or a cover of some sort also showcases the beauty of a book, or it can be the reason that kind of pulls people into reading the novel, as in reading and learning more about you. So I am also getting this feeling that you have the opportunity to pull in and attract the people that you want, and also leave out the people that you maybe don't want, or put in more boundaries there that maybe need to show up, and maybe that's what's changing and shifting in that. And maybe that's also the people that are going to be coming in and sticking, and the people that aren't, as well as the experiences. So that's also what I'm getting here for advice, is just to make sure to see what sticks within your relationships, the way that you communicate with others, and the boundaries that you make with people, and how loose or more structured those boundaries are, and how that can change from person to person. So those are all of your cards, but we're going to move on to your affirmation. This might be something you write in your planner, say to yourself in the mirror, something that can really tie things together. Let's see your affirmation for the month of August, group 3. All right, so you got 2. Interesting. I picked this up. The ones that you got, they both fell on either side of this compass near the southwest and northeast section, in case that has any resonance for you. We have live for today and what if. Very polarizing energies, right? Live for today is about just living for today, living for each of those moments, saying yes in every single moment. And the what if is the hesitation. So I think you're kind of going back and forth there. Like I said at the beginning, some of you might say yes to everything this month, see what sticks. Others of you might be still intuitively kind of feeling that out with this what if it doesn't work, what if it does, kind of going back and forth on it. And I think that it's, again, listening to that inner compass to know what it is to head towards. And if you keep feeling a lot of what ifs in a very negative or unusual or just not helpful way, then listen to that. And if it feels more like something to live for, to really go and gain experience in, then that is something to maybe start heading towards, and really listen to how your body feels about that as well. So those are all of your cards and your affirmations. Let's move on to the very final details of the bits and bob details for the month of August for you with the charms. So send your energy in, and we'll get started with yours, group 3. Okay. So, interestingly, you did actually get more on memories with that forget-me-not, right? So we have more going on with memories, and the memories that you're going to be making are the things that are shifting and changing. And that's how you're going to gain more of those memories, because here we have the camera. This is about taking time to really notice those memories. And sometimes I think it's really important that we don't realize until in hindsight that we even went through a big shift or change, right? You might still be feeling it rumbling under your feet, but you might not know what it is until afterwards and in hindsight. So this can also just be reminding yourself to sort of document that through photos, through things, and reminding yourself that this is a change and a shift in your life that's happening right now. Maybe small, maybe big, but however small or big, it's something that is worth remembering and worth documenting, especially if it has something to do with the kindness of others, with the gratitude that they bring, with the warm qualities that they also bring forward, because this is about like someone gifting you some mittens to warm you up, or holding hands with someone to warm you up in some way, some sort of comfort that they would like to give you. And this is usually like a sort of kindness or a gratitude or some sort of love and act of kindness coming through around this Wheel of Fortune. And it's really taking that in and making those memories. So there is a lot about making memories, and making memories with the people that really warm you up and warm your soul. So the last charm that you got here, because I realized that you only had one other one, except for this one did fall as well. But I'm actually not even going to talk about it because it usually talks about near misses, and it literally near missed. So I'm going to go ahead and put it here, but in case that resonated, I put that in here. What you had show up here is on the little castle. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this little castle above this specific cup that you might be looking into, and you got it as like I always see this as like the bullseye, or seeing it as the silver as well. Like, you maybe aren't getting it perfect, but it's a pretty good place to start. So seeing as I was really called towards this home and towards this castle, it might be something having to do with your home that is changing and shifting, your home life. Though maybe you're traveling somewhere and you're going to be staying in like a temporary home. Maybe you are moving homes or moving apartments or something like that. And it might just be that that's something that's shifting as well, and you're trying to get it perfect, but you're probably going to get more of the silver star than the gold star, and that's totally okay as well. Trying not to look for perfection in this. So that is all of your charms and cards. I'm going to go ahead and zoom it out so you can see everything. There we go. As I mentioned earlier, definitely be sure to give this video a like. Let me know in the comments down below how it resonated. Those are super helpful, and I love to hear your thoughts. Truly, I have so much fun seeing what you have to say. And also definitely be sure and consider subscribing to this channel, as well as hitting the notification bell to stay updated, as I have over 100 videos now on this channel, which is insane to me. And you're welcome to see any and all of those. I have lots of different readings that you can check out, as well as some tutorials and other things. And if you'd like to see other videos like that in the future, that's how you can do so, by subscribing. But also, if you want to support this channel even further to get new decks and supplies, and I definitely have some on the way that I'm very, very excited about, then a great way to support that and to bring those in is to check out the Kindred tip jar down below. But you can also do that through the snail mail readings that I do, and I would love to do even some more digital readings and other types of readings on my Instagram and through email and things like that. So if you're interested in those, or you want to let me know more of what you'd like to see in the future, hit me up some way through Instagram, on my Instagram community. I'm there every single day. Or let me know through the comments down below, or send me an email. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the different offerings that I could provide for you all moving forward. And yeah, so you can check that out. I have lots of other offerings. All of that will be in the description down below. And yes, I am wishing the best for your month of, I almost said October, but your month of August. And I'm wishing the best for it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.